So I work closely with a lot of new cannabis patients, and what I've noticed is that a lot of us in the industry take a lot of the knowledge for granted, i.e. the basics. So I'm going to go back to basics for a lot of new cannabis patients to explain a lot of things that they maybe don't understand. So first things first, what forms is it available in medical cannabis in the UK? A lot of new patients are under the illusion it's just available in flower, like weed, like they've known it for all their days. But no, it's actually available in a lot of different forms. First off, I've got pastils, which is like a gummy. It tends to work after about 20 minutes to half an hour. It can give anxiety relief, pain relief, insomnia relief, just depending on what ones it is. Next up, we've got oral oils. Oral oils will last a bit longer than most other methods. You tend to only really need them about once or twice a day. You can get different variations, i.e. you can get high THC, you can get high CBD, or you can get a balance in between the two. It's sometimes a lot of trial and error to find out what works for you, because cannabis certainly is not a one-size-fits-all medication by no means. Very different for everybody. I mean, everybody's an endocannabinoid system, but it can work slightly different. So maybe what works for anxiety for me may not work too well for anxiety for you. It may actually bring on anxiety, but it's just a case of trying different variations and seeing what works well for you. And that's why so many cannabis patients that consume dry herb which is like the flower that you would be used to as regards cannabis. A lot of patients would tend to swap about to try and find different strains that work better for them. Sometimes they're trying to find a strain that works for different conditions together, i.e. pain and anxiety, or pain and sleep, or whatever the case may be. And maybe the first one they try is good for pain but not good for sleep as well, or maybe good for pain but not anxiety, whatever the case may be. So that's why it's good to try different variations and see what works for you. But as I say, an oral oil, generally you take once or twice a day, and it should work for about 6 or 7 hours. You should feel the benefit. Vape pens, pretty self-explanatory. It's a vape pen. You can get two different forms. One's distillate, which would be basically like high THC with terpenes. Terpenes is what gives cannabis its smell and taste alongside other volatile compounds. But it would be one of the main ones that gives it smell and taste, so they're added back in with the THC. I would recommend rosin pens, which is another variation of the vape pens. The rosin's just basically squashed, nothing added, nothing taken away, so you get a better effect. You get what's known as the entourage effect. We'll cover that a wee bit later on. But the entourage effect, you get a better effect from cannabis, and you're getting an effect from all the other volatile compounds like the terpenes, flavonoids, flavorants. These all bring benefits as well as the cannabinoids. The cannabinoids like THC and CBD that are well known do bring benefits, but there's so many other volatile compounds like terpenes, terpenoids, flavorants, flavonoids that all bring benefits as well, like anti-inflammatory, analgesic, pain relieving, things like that. You know, so many benefits come from all the other compounds, but look, we'll get into that again later. The next form would be the dried herb. This is the way most people new to cannabis think that it's only prescribed. They don't realise about the oils and all the other forms, but dried herb is the most commonly known form of cannabis, obviously. What we tend to forget in the industry is that people get this dried herb and they don't know what to do with it, because this is literally new and they've never tried cannabis before in their lives. So that's why I'm going back to basics and trying to explain the very basics of this. It's not to be consumed via combustion. In other words, it's not to be consumed via lighting it in any way. If you put a lighter to cannabis, it's not classed as medication anymore. It's prescribed to be using the dry herb vaporizer. This is a dry herb vaporizer here. There's different types and different forms available. This Venti. Let's say there is different types available, different price ranges, and it's a matter of maybe trying ones in a vape lounge or things like that, or trying a friends to see how you get on with your own medication, to see what one works best for you before spending the money. But honestly, the Venti is probably one of the best you can get in the market. I find I've tried a lot of different vaporizers, and that's definitely one I would definitely recommend. A lot of them come with wee loading capsules, which is like this. These wee loading capsules are basically to help you dose your cannabis, as well as to keep your vaporizer clean. Your cannabis, say, will come in as bud like that, as you would know it. Basically try and take away any stalk and throw any stalk in the bin. Put the rest in the grinder. This is a grinder. This is a 2-piece grinder. Grinders are available in 2-piece or 4-piece. I'll explain a bit more about that after. But a 2-piece one will do you grand to get started. As I say, basically try and take away all your stalk and just put the flower itself into the grinder, because it'll give you a better taste experience, but you're not getting much benefit from the stalk as you would with flower. Once you've got in your grinder, don't just give it 1 or 2 turns, because Reason being is you want it quite fine for a dry herb vaporizer. It will perform better in the dry herb vaporizer when it's more fine. So give it a good grind like that, and then once it's done, you'll see it's in the grinder, all ground up now. Put it on the rolling tray or something similar that you're going to use for your medication, and fill one of the wee loading capsules. Wee loading capsules say load it tight but not compressed too tight, just slightly compressed. If you do that, you'll generally get about 0.18 gram in the pod, which should do you fine. Put the wee pod into your vaporizer, turn your vaporizer on. Most vaporizers are haptic, so what I mean by that is whenever it heats up, it'll vibrate. It'll also change from orange to green. You'll see the orange light on there. You'll see it sitting at 180 degrees at the minute. There's different temperatures you can set these at. The reason they don't do combustion, number one, is that it's healthier to use a vaporizer and vaporize your cannabis rather than combust it, because you combust it, you're burning it, you burn it at a high temperature. You'll lose a lot of volatile compounds like terpenes, terpenoids, flavorants, and all these have benefits like anti-inflammatory benefits and analgesic benefits, maybe anxiety relief. So if you light it, you've lost a lot of those. Plus, like I say, it's not as good for your health, obviously, combustion, where vaporization is a lot better for your health, and you're getting the benefit of all those volatile compounds. So you're getting the anxiety relief from the compounds that will be burnt off if you combust it. So at 180 degrees, it heats it, and you do get vapor. It's not smoke, it's vapor, but it's similar once you get the temperature up a bit, but it definitely doesn't combust and turn anywhere near the same as smoke. You'll see from the first draw that I don't get much vapor from the first draw. It's mostly flavour from the first draw, but it will show you sort of the difference between smoking and vaporization, because what you smell in your bag is almost what you'll taste coming through a good vaporizer. Now say the first draw will be literally just flavour. You'll see how it drew long and slow on the vaporizer. That's the best way to consume it, rather than sort of really trying to hit it hard. Nice long slow draws and you get the best benefit out of it. You'll see there's not much vapour from the first draw at all. Bit more vapour from the second draw. Say once you start going up in temperature as well, you'll get more vapour. After we take a few goes at 180, we'll turn it up to 195. The reason being is you'll get different compounds at 195 than you will at 180. So 180 will give you beneficial compounds, terpenes and flavorants, flavonoids that you're getting benefits from, i.e. anxiety relief, maybe a bit of pain relief. But as you go up, you'll get different terpenoids and flavorants and flavonoids and different cannabinoids burning off. And when you do that, you're getting different effects. In other words, for pain relief and for insomnia relief, you might want to go a wee bit higher in temperature, because you'll get more pain relief and insomnia relief from the terpenoids and the flavorants and the cannabinoids burning at the higher temperature than you will the one at the lower temperature, because THC and CBD will burn at a higher temperature than 180. You'll notice a lot more vapour coming off at 195. The only thing I probably would advise is for anybody new to consuming dry herb is to have a drink at hand, because you will find a slight dry throat you feel from it. Even anybody switching from smoking to dry herb will notice a dry throat coming from it in comparison to smoking. But I say you get about probably, you probably just best just consuming that as and when you feel you need to, because as I say, with oral oils, you'll take once or twice in the day and you'll get that relief and it'll last all day long. With combustion and flour, you'll get an instant relief rather than waiting 20 minutes. So as soon as you take that draw, you're getting instant relief from that anxiety or that pain or whatever the case may be. You're feeling tired, like you need to go to sleep if it's for insomnia, whatever the case may be. There's no waiting 20 minutes. It will obviously strengthen as time goes on slightly, but you'll get the initial effect straight away. So you'll know when you've had enough. So once you're taking the draws and you'll be like, yeah, I feel anxiety relief, I know I've had enough. Because it's finding that balance with cannabis. That's the key to cannabis, and the key to getting it to work as a good medication is finding that balance. So if you consume it and you get anxiety relief, then the best thing to do would be to stop in around that for that time, because otherwise if you keep consuming, then you might find out it may actually bring anxiety on because you consumed a higher amount of THC or whatever the case may be. So you'll burn off other volatile compounds even that may cause you anxiety if you keep smoking on. So once you find that relief that you're after, for whatever it is, you're best to stop smoking. But that's how to determine how much you need to consume by how you're feeling, and you're the best judge of that. So the best thing to do with cannabis is play around with it as a medication. That's just basically what you have to do with it, because, as I say, it's not a one-size-fits-all medication by no means, and it's very different for everybody. So it's just find the strain that works for you. And say, with the dried flower, there's hundreds of different strains, different terpene profiles, different cannabinoid profiles, and it is just maybe just trial and error with some of those to find what works for you. Look for recommendations of what does work for anxiety and what does work for pain, or if it works for sleep, or whatever you're trying to treat. And try the ones that they recommend. If you want to sleep with cushions and things like that, they would be heavier for sleeping. And then you've different pain relief, you've different anxiety relief, you've all different levels of cannabinoids. It's just find what works for you. If you want anxiety relief, try and find something in the middle, like a 1-to-1 with THC and CBD. Those are generally really on point for anxiety relief. But look, if anybody needs any more guidance, that's what I'm here for. Any questions, and there's plenty more in the industry that will answer your questions as well. Take care.